Hi guys, and welcome back. Today I will be reviewing this tablet from GAOMON that they sent for me. I thought it was very nice that they reached out to me despite how small my YouTube channel still is, because right now I'm in the making of a video series that introduces digital art to people, so what could be better than getting a chance to review a tablet? GAOMON did send it to me so that I could review it. But everything that I'm going to say or experience in this video, everything you watch me do, comes from the bottom of my heart, and I'm just being completely honest all the way through. In this review, I'm going to do mainly three things. One, I'm going to show an unboxing of the tablet. Number two, I'm going to talk a bit about the tablet, both as a product but also my experiences with it. And I'll also compare it to an older model of the Wacom Intuos tablet. And I'll of course do a short drawing demonstration of the drawing you see in the background. And to sum up, in the end, I'm going to, sum up. Duh. Anyway, I'm very excited to show you everything, guys, so let's just get started. The tablet is made by GAOMON, and this particular model is the M106K. It arrived in a very nice and professional looking box, and it was neatly packed and everything arrived safely without taking damage. Inside you can find a little flyer that shows you where to go and download the driver for the tablet. The tablet doesn't auto-install anything, so you need to go and install the driver before you can use it. The tablet has 12 express keys located on the left and 16 soft express keys located across the top. The tablet itself is very lightweight, perfect for bringing along on the road. It generally has a very nice feel. It also has 4 little feet on the back to prevent the tablet from going all over the place. The surface is very smooth. It doesn't feel cheap, and I got the impression that it's very sturdy. The express keys has great tactile feedback, although they do feel a little cheap and they do make a bit of a noise. Behind the tablet is a small felt pouch. Inside of it there is a small bag of 10 spare nibs. There was an additional 4 nibs and a nib remover in another small bag. Inside the box I also found a smudge guard or a finger glove. The box didn't say that it included it, so I wonder if it's standard or just for me. I'm going to ask GAOMON and include my answer during my conclusion. The glove fit perfect around my wrist, but was a little loose on my hand, but I guess it's just so it fits more people. At the bottom you'll find a stylus. It comes with a protective cap that you can easily pop off. It doesn't fit on the other end of the stylus, so place it somewhere where you don't lose it. The stylus has a pretty nice grip to it. It's bigger than the pen for the Intuos, but it's about the same size as the pen for my Cintiq, which is a little thicker in general. The nib is rather long compared to any other styluses I had. It also feels a bit looser, as if there's a spring inside. The stylus is nicely weighted, although I wish it was a little heavier towards the bottom. It also has 2 short key buttons, which most styluses have. It doesn't have an end part which you can use as an eraser. Instead there's the spot where you put in your cable when you want to charge it. Yes, you have to charge it. But you only need to charge it for 2 to 3 hours, and that gives you approximately 350 hours of battery life. Besides that, the stylus also goes into sleep mode after about 10 minutes of inactivity to save battery. The only immediate thing I don't like about the stylus is that it doesn't bend in and outwards towards the bottom. It's a very subtle feature, but it makes it more comfortable to hold over longer periods of time. Last but not least, the cables. The mini USB for the tablet go to your computer, and the other cable is the stylus charger. The cable for the tablet is pretty long and provides excellent range. The mini USB is located on the middle of the tablet. It's designed that way to function better in reverse for left-handed people. The only real downside being that the soft keys are now located at the bottom and upside down. The GAOMON's tablet's work area is 10 by 6.25 inches. That's 25.5 by 16 centimeters. The resolution is 5080 LPI, which means lines per inch. The reading height of the stylus is 10 millimeters, and it has 2048 pressure levels. The tablet operates with 233 pps, which means pictures per second, and it weighs 780 grams, which is around 1.7 pounds. It has 12 physical keys on the left, and an additional 16 function keys at the top, which you can activate with your stylus. Before downloading the driver from the website, remember to remove any current tablet drivers you may have installed previously. Tablet drivers do conflict. It doesn't matter which brand it is or if it was cheap or expensive, they will always conflict. Install the GAOMON driver and run it. The driver's interface is very like those of Wacom. I heard some mention that it looks a lot like Huon's drivers as well. You can click the individual keys to map a shortcut if you'd like. I couldn't find any pre-made shortcuts, which I'm used to with Wacom, and I must admit that the interface was a bit overwhelming. Note that if you want to add a single key, like the Shift key, to your express keys, you need to make the shortcut undefined by removing the tick from the keyboard combination key options. It's because there's no empty or undefined option in the drop-down menu, so per default you're always set up for a combination of keys. You can also choose to work in full area of the tablet or have it force its proportions to your screen using screen ratio. On the About tab, you can save your configuration as an XML file and restore your settings with it if they were ever lost somehow. Now onto a test. Behold my little magic trick, the wizard of tablets. On the left you see a series of pen tests performed by the GAOMON tablet, and on the right you see the same test performed but on a Wacom Intuos tablet. Please note that I edited my video to look like this, because obviously I wasn't using two tablets at the same time. I found that in general the GAOMON's pressure sensitivity threshold was very narrow. The border between thin and thick lines were very noticeable. The Wacom Intuos had a bigger threshold, so the transition from light to hard was a lot smoother. With that being said, I felt like I had to push extremely hard on the Intuos to get the thickest line, which was not the case with GAOMON. I'm also doing a blending test. The GAOMON has 5 levels of pressure sensitivity, which ranges from -2 to 2. The Intuos has 7 different levels. For this blending test, I used the outermost levels and the middle level for each tablet. In both cases, I prefer to lie between the most firm sensitivity and the one in the middle. So for GAOMON, I would choose to work on sensitivity 1, and on Wacom, I'd choose to work on the sensitivity somewhere between firm and the middle. I was in general very happy with the blending on the GAOMON. It just takes some trial and error to find the preferred sensitivity. I also found that the GAOMON was a tiny bit faster to respond while I was drawing, and a little less jittery. This is probably because of the higher LPI and PPS compared to the old Intuos that I'm comparing to. These two tablets that I'm comparing are not equal in specs. It was the only other non-display tablet I had in my house, and I really wanted to do a comparison to a bigger brand's tablet. So don't consider it an even or completely fair comparison. Consider it more like a demonstration of two tablets at very different price levels. And now it's time for a quick drawing demonstration. If my drawing looks a bit off, it doesn't have anything to do with the GAOMON tablet specifically. I'm just so used to display tablets that I have a pretty hard time going back to regular pen tablets. I was using all the same brushes and techniques as usual. I did the demonstration in Photoshop CC 2018 because this is my main drawing program. The feeling of drawing was very like my Cintiq. They both have a very smooth surface and very little resistance. The Wacom Intuos surface is a lot rougher and provides more resistance. This means that it better simulates what it feels like to draw on paper, but it just so happens that I'm very used to smooth surfaces, so I thought it was quite nice. A few times I noticed that the sensitivity in the driver had moved to another setting than the one I had chosen, but after reinstalling the driver, the problem didn't occur again. I found a weird glitch though. For one of my buttons on the stylus, I wanted to map the pan scroll function, so I can use the stylus to move around on the canvas instead of using the spacebar. Since I couldn't find any pre-made pan scroll shortcuts, I decided to map the spacebar to the button instead. However, when I held down the button as I would with spacebar, it was almost like the stylus conflicted and wanted to draw at the same time. So it's like it didn't shut off the drawing function while I used the button, so I couldn't use the shortcut at all. I'll write GAOMON about this as well and include the answer in my conclusion. The price for the tablet is approximately $60, which is roughly 1/3 of the price for the Wacom Intuos I was using during this review for comparison. The Intuos I was using for comparison was bought about 3 years ago for $200. The Express keys do provide excellent tactile feedback, but they also feel a little cheap, nothing which has affected their functionality though. I also found it hard to remember what shortcuts I'd put on the buttons because the buttons just sit in a repetitive pattern. I used some washi tape to help me remember my shortcuts. Express keys always take some time to get under your skin, so don't let that scare you. I think the soft Express keys is a very nice function. I found that they worked best with the work area set to screen ratio. Otherwise, Photoshop kept trying to open the menus when I used the soft keys. Because of the way that my drawing setup is, I found it hard to use them though. My screen is placed well over the tablet, so I had to unattach my eyes from the drawing to look down on the tablet to select the soft keys. I imagine that it isn't a big of a problem if your screen is placed along the tablet, like when you're using a laptop. I wish they would add a menu for the soft keys on the screen. If they made a menu for the soft keys that would appear when you move the stylus over the keys, it would help me a lot, and I would probably use the keys all the time. I wrote GAOMON concerning the contents of the box. It simply turns out that you can buy 2 versions of it. One which also includes the glove and extra nibs. That is the one they sent me, and that's the reason that I got the glove and the 10 extra nibs. They also answered my question regarding mapping the spacebar to the stylus button. Their stylus simply doesn't support using the pen nib and the stylus button at the same time. That's fair enough. I just remapped the button to H, which activates the hand tool, and I used that to move around instead. To quickly get back to painting, I just mapped B for brush to the Express keys. The limitation of the stylus and button working at the same time does not apply to the rest of the physical Express keys. I mapped Shift onto one of them and held it down while drawing a straight line. What we have here is a good tablet for a good price. I think the price is very fair, and I'd say you get a lot of great value for approximately $60. The tablet has a few limitations, and you need to make sure your pen is charged properly before using it for the first time, otherwise you might encounter some technical issues where you think something might be wrong with the pen when it really just needs some juice. That being said, I'm still not completely liking the fact that you need to charge it. I also think that the feel of the pen is a little too light overall. I think it mostly has to do with the distribution of the weight, which, if you ask me, should have been more towards the bottom of the pen. I would also have loved to use the back of the pen as an eraser. I really like the smooth surface of the tablet, and the idea of the soft keys is good, but without an interface to support it, the idea kinda falls apart. This is something that they could fix with the software update though. All in all, I had a good time using this tablet. The cables are nice and long, and you can loosen or tighten the area around the USB connector if needed. I really like the overall feel of the tablet itself because it feels sturdy but light at the same time. Sure, it's missing a few functionalities which I mentioned during the review, and the buttons could feel a bit nicer, but we can't get everything and expect the price to stay low too. If you're new to digital art and you're looking for your first tablet, I'd say this tablet could be an excellent choice, especially if you're not ready to throw in the big bucks for a drawing tablet. As a last note, I'd like to add that I use Windows 10 and I only tested the tablet in Photoshop CC version 2018. I've seen some other reviews where the tablet doesn't work properly in older versions of Adobe Suite. So just remember, if you're on the market for a new tablet, it's important to view multiple reviews and collect experience from different kinds of users. So thank you for watching. If you want to check out the tablet, go into the description of the video and you can find all the info and the links that you'll need. If you have any questions about the tablet, ask in the comments and I'll see if I can answer them for you. So until next time, take care, bye! Welcome.